Welcome here, Dan Doyle, recruiting coach manager at NCSA. And today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Coach Shane Loeffler from Swarthmore College. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you for joining us here. So excited to talk with you. For you that don't know, Swarthmore not only is a great academic school, but the last 5 years have just dominated Division III basketball, and they finished ranked #1 last year. And we're in the top 5 the last 2 to 3 years. So I'm excited to talk to you and learn more about your program. Before we jump into all that, Coach, why don't you introduce yourself real quickly and kind of give us a surface overview of Swarthmore basketball?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Shane Loeffler, former player at Swarthmore, class of 2016, assistant coach there for the past 3 seasons. Born and bred there as far as college basketball goes, but we've definitely had a successful run the last few years and are hoping to keep it going, obviously in the future. So right outside Philadelphia, about 20 minutes outside Center City, Philadelphia, a small D3 college, about 1,650 students, but elite academics and elite basketball. We are one of the top 3 liberal arts colleges in the country for the past 4 or 5 decades. An incredible rigorous academic program, but we also pair that with top-notch basketball and competitive environments. We compete in the Centennial Conference, which comprises mostly of schools from Pennsylvania and Maryland. But we have competed in the conference championship for the past 4 seasons, as well as entered the NCAA tournament and hosted the NCAA tournament for the past 4 years, preceding the national championship game 2 years ago, and then en route there last year before COVID shut everything down early. But present the best of both worlds as far as great academics, great basketball, and one of the best cities in the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about the academic profile that you look for a potential recruit when you're evaluating recruits. What do you need to see in terms of GPA, test scores, anything on their transcript you need to see, or if you see, kind of eliminates them from your recruiting board?
Yeah, great question. So with each kid, it's a very individualistic view of how we're viewing their profile, but we want obviously the best of the best students. So that is top GPAs, top test scores if they have them. Obviously with COVID, we've gone test optional for the next 2 years, but test scores still have to be as high as possible. Our average ACT scores is about 32. Average SAT score is about 1450. That doesn't mean you need to get exactly those scores on those tests, but you do have to be at the top of your game. What's more important is those transcripts having to have top GPAs, but also pairing that with rigorous course selection. So we want students who are taking AP courses, IB courses, the most advanced courses at their schools as much as possible, because Swarthmore is a rigorous school academically. So our admissions team want to see students who challenge themselves in high school and perform at that high level that we're looking for. So can't give exact numbers for GPA, but we want high GPAs, kids competing for the top of their class and trying to challenge themselves as well.
Awesome. No, that's very helpful. What are some of the most popular majors there at Swarthmore?
Yeah, we don't have necessarily slotted specific majors that are super prevalent at Swarthmore. Obviously, economics is our top one, as with a lot of liberal arts schools. It's a really business-oriented, finance-oriented. A lot of kids, especially a lot of young basketball players, are geared towards that business econ route. But we've had quite a few guys on our team in psychology, engineering, biology. They stretch across the board. So we have a lot of great major programs on our campus. The really unique thing about Swarthmore is that we have a lot of students pursue double majors. So that would mean, like for instance, my class comprised of an econ and political science double major, an econ and religion double major. I myself was a political science major and history minor. So while that seems very difficult at a school as rigorous as Swarthmore, that does present an opportunity for our student athletes to get experience in 2 different majors and make themselves even more applicable to the job market and career market once they graduate.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And with that academic rigor that you guys have as a basketball team, are you guys hosting study tables? Are there full-time academic advisors for your student athletes to take advantage of?
we do have a lot of resources on campus that are not necessarily specific to our athletes. We have a writing center, a speaking center that are both fully devoted to helping all of our students with their work. But the big thing for us is getting student athletes who are so well prepared and dedicated to performing at the top level academically that they don't really need us to be hands-on. Our guys are extremely dedicated and extremely self-motivated, and they push each other. They don't really need a whole lot of push from us or a whole lot of push from advisors. Obviously, they have those opportunities when they need them, and they have those resources, but we want to get guys on our team who are extremely driven on the court, but just as equally driven in the classroom.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like there's two types. There's the we got to drive you to do the right things, and guys that are self-motivated. So those elite academic schools like Swarthmore definitely have that second group, where I tended to be a little bit more in the first group when in my college days. So so that's great to hear there. Tell me about your guys' coaching style, philosophy. What are you trying to accomplish, on the floor, game in and game out?
Yeah, we change every year with specific X's and O's, just like every program does, to fit our personnel. But we want to play a fast-paced attacking style of basketball. Offensively and defensively, we like to play fast, we like to run, and we like to play a free-flowing motion-based offense. So that helps all of our guys succeed any given night. We don't have one guy necessarily driving all of our stats. We had an incredible statistical distribution across our roster this year with points and rebounds and all the important stats because we have such an equal opportunity-based offense. But our goal is to play attacking, to play fast-paced, to push the ball up as fast as possible and put the opponents on their heels. And same goes defensively. We just want to play physical, tough defense. We've been one of the top rebounding teams in the country for the past 3 years. One of the top block shots teams in the country for the past couple of years. We want to get guys who aren't afraid to hit guys.
Real good. And so, yeah, before our interview and just throughout the last few years, I've seen you guys play, following D3 ball myself. But recruits, go and check out their highlight film on YouTube. You'll get a great sense of how they get in the passing lanes on defense and then turn that quickly into offensive opportunities. It was great. The point guard that you guys had really set the tempo in a lot of those. And yeah, you guys fill it up, make the extra pass. It was fun to watch some of those highlights that you guys put together. So I think that, kind of emulated what you just said right there. Tell me about your program's culture. What gets, your fans, dressing in hot dog suits and getting rowdy right here? What are you guys, creating on and off the floor there?
Yeah, that's a great picture, but a good question. That's kind of why we've been successful the last few years. As much as we want to tout how well we've done as coaches, it's been getting the right kind of student athletes on our team for the past 5 to 6 years, that we get guys who are so highly motivated and so dedicated to each other and not really caring about what is conventional and what is normal, but trying to be the best in their role as possible. We have 18 guys on our roster, which is a larger roster than normal for the past 2 years. But every guy has completely accepted their role and embraced it. And we believe we have one of the best collections of team spirit, one of the best benches in the country. Our guys are up almost every play to the chagrin of every referee that we have on our games. But that's kind of what reverberates with our fans as well. They see us having a ton of fun and having a lot of energy. And they echo that as well. And we've had phenomenal support from not just our college community for the last few years because of that, but through the campus community and the Swarthmore community as a whole, to where our games are a lot of fun and a lot of energy and a loud, raucous court, which is obviously what we all want to be playing in.
Absolutely. And being close to Philly, I'm sure some of that reputation of those Philly fans rub off there to your campus, right?
A little bit, but Swarthmore's a lot of smart book people, so they don't do as much.
Yeah. Tell me about, since you're an elite academic, what does your recruiting timeline, look like from starting to identify potential student athletes through the application process, early decision, regular decision, early action, those types of things?
Yeah, and that's a difficult question to answer this year because this year has been a lot different for us than before. Typically, we're looking for 2 to 4 kids a year, and some of those are going to be early decisions, some of those are going to be regular decisions. It very very much depends on the specific kid, but we obviously want to recruit kids as much as possible during the spring and the summer, see them 7, 8, 9 times in person and get film and talk to their coaches and make sure their academics are at our level first and foremost. Anytime a student reaches out to us, the first thing we get is their transcript and their academic information, because if that doesn't work out, then basketball is not going to work out. But once we get all that, it's just trying to, again, find the right student athlete who fits our culture, fits our program, and is going to help us move forward. Now, obviously, with this year and COVID being a problem, that's definitely changed for us. It's pushed back our timeline quite considerably to where our campus is closed to visitors for the foreseeable future. So students can't get on campus. Recruiting events are limited. So our timeline's been pushed back. We are going to be mostly regular decision this year. Our recruiting class is going to be a little bit smaller because we have a lot of guys who are returning and after taking a leave of absence. Because they didn't want to miss another year of school in basketball. So we will be doing a lot more of our decision making this year in the spring. Hopefully, once our campus opens up, once guys are able to hopefully play their winter seasons, and then kind of once both parties can kind of get in more information.
Okay. Now, if I'm very interested in Swarthmore and I don't have the ability to visit right now, what kind of digital resources do you have? Do you guys have a virtual tour? Are you doing Zoom calls? What are some things that you're doing to supplement the lack of face-to-face on-campus contact with recruits?
Yeah, we've had a virtual tour for a while. Our athletics, our athletics committee actually just put out a new revamped version that really focuses on the athletics piece of the campus as well, not just the academic side. So we do have that resource for people who want to get a feel for what campus looks like. That's a big selling point for our school. It's a 450-acre campus. We have a great space, obviously right outside the city, so not right in the streets, but having our own space. But so we do have that virtual tour for students who need to see it if they can't get there in person. Other than that, yeah, we try and do our best through videos, through putting out highlights, through putting out our own student-led campus videos as well, just to make sure they're getting the best feel possible in the circumstances we have right now.
Absolutely. And then where do you typically recruit from? Are you in a certain region? You being an elite academic institution, are you recruiting nationally? Where's been your bread and butter over the last few years as you've had this tremendous success on the floor?
Yeah, that's a benefit of Swarthmore, is that we can recruit nationally. We don't really have one hot spot where we get a lot of guys from. The Mid-Atlantic is pretty popular for us, with Northern Virginia and Jersey, and the DMV area is obviously very good for us. But we, right now on our roster, I don't think we have more than 2 guys from any individual state. We have guys from all over the country, which is great for us and for our program. Gives a lot of diversity and a lot of opportunities for our guys to meet players from other states and other regions of the country. So geography is never an issue. That's always a benefit for us, as far as if you have the academics and you have the ability, then we're going to be able to recruit you.
Real good. And part of going to Swarthmore is being set up for the next 40 years after graduation. And I know I showed this graphic earlier, but tell me, what are some of the former basketball players doing upon graduation? What type of career are they looking at, or post-secondary education?
Yeah, and that's a great question, and obviously that list is obviously great and indicative of our entire school. But even just on our team, one of my teammates, class 2016, is attending Yale Business School this year. We have a 2017 grad who is in his 3rd year of residency at Cornell Cancer Institute, getting his doctorate. We have a player who graduated in class 2014 who's at Harvard Law. 2 members in the last 5 years who've gone to Georgetown Law. So as far as really reaching the pinnacle of getting the best degrees possible and setting yourself up for the best future possible, our guys are doing it in droves, and not just in the graduate sphere, but also just reaching great career opportunities, whether that's in the finance sector, whether that's in the healthcare sector. Our guys are really across the board and across the country in multiple different locations pursuing their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an impressive list of, just grad schools. And then you threw in a few other ones that, any parent would be happy to have their kid attend. So that's great. What are the goals for the program over the next 4 to 5 years?
Yeah, and that's a good question. Our obviously our overarching goal is to win the national championship. We came very close 2 years ago. We felt like we had a really good chance this year before COVID shut down things early. But that is our overarching goal. But for us, what drives our day to day is just being excellent and doing it with high energy. That's our team's culture. That's what we talk about every day, every practice, every game, is just fulfilling our roles that day the best we can. And when we do that at a high level, which we've done for the past few years, the results just kind of take care of themselves. It's a byproduct of us being our best every day. So obviously we want that championship culture that everyone wants, and we're doing a great job at pursuing it. But for us, it's getting the right guys and doing it the right way every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. On campus, what does housing look like for incoming freshmen? Are they usually paired up with another basketball player? Tell me a little bit about the on-campus housing structure there.
Yeah, so actually as a freshman, it's going to be a little bit random. So they aren't paired with basketball players. There's a chance they get paired with an athlete. There's about 1 in 4 students on Swarthmore's campus are varsity athletes. So there's a possibility. But generally they're actually put with a random student, which for us is great because our guys spend an egregious amount of time with each other off the court and on the court. So to have another roommate, to have another hall of people to connect with instantly when you get to campus is always a great opportunity you might not get at other campuses. But then, sophomore through senior year, most of our guys, if not all of our guys, are rooming with each other, living right next to each other, getting to live in the same dorms. Last year we had 12 of 13 of our upperclassmen were in one single dorm. I don't know how they finagled that, but our guys love living with each other. But also you get a good stretch of meeting a lot of different great people on Swarthmore's campus.
Absolutely. If they were ever late, you knew exactly where to go.
Exactly.
So, is it possible for student athletes to have a work study program or hold a part-time job while they're attending there? I know the rigors of your basketball program and academics. Do a lot of your student athletes do that?
A good portion of them do. Like, speaking from experience, again, I graduated in 2016, and I worked every semester, not a ton, but probably 8 to 10 hours. And most of that was in the athletics. I'd be running balls on the sideline or doing PA announcing or play-by-play for men's soccer. So there are a lot of opportunities within athletics, on campus, in the libraries. So if the guys who need that campus aid or just want a little bit of extra money, they can always find those opportunities.
Perfect. And then if I'm a recruit and I've first and foremost taken care of business academically in my high school career, and I've got a good test score, what's the next step in starting to get on your radar to begin the recruiting process?
Yeah, to be honest, it's really utterly simple. We want transcripts and academic info. We want highlights, full game film, senior schedule. We just want the bare info. And then, obviously why you're interested in Swarthmore. Can't tell you how many emails we get with students who don't actually address us, but just address a random coach. How many students send us information about basketball, but nothing academically. So again, going back to the beginning of our conversation, we want highly motivated, highly driven, academic oriented basketball players who get us the info we need to make sure we understand where they're at, what ability they have, and then if they have a chance for Swarthmore.
Real good. Any things that we haven't covered here about Swarthmore that you want to say to potential recruits?
No, they're great questions. I think we covered the entire smorgasbord of what Swarthmore is as much as we can in 15 minutes. So, looking forward to seeing which of your student athletes contact us after they see this.
Yeah, we're excited too. And Coach Loeffler, thank you so much for taking time here. Good luck in this upcoming season. You guys have a fantastic program, and you've got an admirer in me from afar, and just how well you've run that program, and just the academic structure and what you're doing with these kids, after college as well. So good luck here as the season gets going. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the time.
All right, take care.